Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning, this is my son Ben, and today we're tasting the Laphroaig Cairdeas 15 years of age. And well, this is not a brand new bottle, it's from 2017. And yeah, there is an annual release of these Cairdeas bottlings, and they are issued at the distillery. And I think these bottles were, they filled too many for that festival on Islay, because the festival on Islay crowded and crowded. And if you bottle tens of thousands of bottles, then you leave some are left over. And so we got a decent amount of those here, and would like to have a try on this. Mm-hmm. There had been another 15-year out on the market. This is this one, the 200-year anniversary. And Laphroaig was established in 1815. So they were not under the ban of, they're not producing whiskey in the islands, because they are on the islands. They are not in Great Britain, but in the United Kingdom. So they were allowed to produce whiskey, so the license is from 1815. And this was a bottling 15 years of age in 2015.
Yeah, 2015 was the year when I visited the distillery at the very, very end of the year. And if you go to Laphroaig, it's a very, very interesting distillery. It's very nice to be there. You have like a pier, and there's a nice visitor center, and you can have a look inside the warehouses.
And you have maltings.
You have maltings, definitely, and you can walk past all the stills that are pretty wild in size, and they have a strange way of distilling, because they have 3 different sizes, I think, of stills. And yeah, I had a very interesting interview with David Campbell. Not quite sure if the 15 was in there. I don't think it was. Mm-hmm. But have a look at the video. It's very, very interesting.
The specialty of this whiskey is it's a first fill ex-bourbon cask whiskey completely. So the normal Laphroaig is always a mixture of first and second and probably third fill whiskeys. And this one is first fill completely. Yeah, priced above 100. Depends very much if the whiskey is still available in your country or it's long gone. Typically it's long gone. Mm-hmm. So there might be some arbitrage hunters out there earning money with these bottles. So it's definitely a collector's item.
Mm-hmm. I think there were a few vintages of that one, but I'm not quite sure, but I think they stopped. At least for Germany, they did stop. In Germany, you didn't get it for you didn't get it after the 2018. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Laphroaig is one of these
stinky, shitty whiskeys.
Nah, it's one of the heavy, marine, smoky, peaty whiskeys.
No,
and they're awesome.
Just joking. I'm from time to time I have my problems with very high ppms in terms of smoke. Already there, and this is the absolute limit I'm able to stand. What Laphroaig brings, that's the absolute limit. Yeah. Oh.
They always say at Laphroaig that
you love it or hate it.
Love it or hate it. I don't think they have it anymore, do they? I'm not quite sure.
But here.
Is it? No, I don't think they use it that much anymore.
The most richly flavored of all Scotch whiskies.
The thing is, they always say they have a lot of apple and that kind of stuff and sweetness.
You need a time.
I don't feel it that much.
Yeah. What you have to do with such an extremely smoky whiskey, you have to smell a long time on it until your tasting receptors in your nose say, well, I know that, forget about that. Let's have a look what's else in that smell. So you need approximately 20, 30, 40 seconds. until your brain turns those specific nerves off, and you get more behind that. So here now a note of vanilla is shining through. Probably this vanilla toffee. And a fresh fruity note, but no way to tell you if it's pears, pears, apples, something. It's just a light estery fruity note.
I do have a bit of a different opinion this time. It's a, first of all, overwhelming peat smoke, smokiness all the way, and you do have it's not a barbecue or something like that. It's definitely one of these phenolic types. Hospital, and it's I do feel always with the Laphroaig the character of seaweed and marine flavors, and I have to say the concentration of on the sweetness is just very, very tough for me. I don't know if I'm missing 2 receptors for exactly that sweetness, but
think about how the taste will develop. You have the fresh raw whiskey, which will have these fruity notes, and then you typically have a mixture of refilled casks and so on, so that the oakiness does not come that strong in a normal Laphroaig. And here you have a bigger age, fresher casks. So the distillery character, just the smoke will pass, and the distillery character will be less dominant in all the acquired aromas from the cask.
So I do only find a bit of a sweetness within the oak.
The apple is there now. It takes quite a time. Either my mirror neurons trigger and say there is apple, or there is definitely apple.
I think David Campbell also says there's apple, so it's just me that doesn't find the apple.
He is in his Laphroaig bubble. No, there's apple in it. Yeah. Cheers. Hard to tell. There's definitely maturity in it. It's not that young and wild as a typical Laphroaig without an age statement is. Maturity. The smoke is still very strong. So it's said the longer a whiskey matures in a cask, the more of the unstable phenols, smoky compounds are oxidized by the in and outgoing air or oxygen of the air, so that the smokiness is less with higher ages, but not in this one. It's still quite high. And in the aftertaste, now the sweetness, a light sweetness arises. It's not that bad. The Laphroaig has very narrow necks at between the pot and the rising column, and this leads to a very stable alcohol vapor column inside the pot still, and this leads to a better alcohol in the end, to a smoother alcohol in the end. We're able to taste that now.
That was definitely more than 15 seconds now. Whoa, now here comes the smoke. It's interesting. When you think about Laphroaig, when you think about a select or a 10, it's a really rough and tough one. It's a harsh one. This one is just 5 more years gives them a lot more roundness.
And better casks. And it's a wonderful, full, round smokiness. That's just the dominant culture in that. You do have a good amount of oak, and yes, in the back when you go to the finish now, you do find a bit of a sweet note.
little bit of sea and weed as well, and a bit of spiciness in the middle.
Seaweed or sea and weed?
Seaweed. Seaweed.
Yeah. So this is one of the elegant. And to say something to the smoke, here we have this medicinal smoke, but it's not that rush and intense as it is with the younger Laphroaig. So it's more compatible with me. So this smoke is friendly. It's not too disturbing, too fighting against your tasting buds. So this is just wonderful embedded. Yeah.
It's nice. There's a point for Laphroaig where it turns from harsh to smooth, and I don't know where it is, but it's around the 15-year-old.
Below the 15.
Probably below this 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I can't. Not quite sure. I think the 15-year-old 200th anniversary edition.
I had that one. I had
think
that
you
one,
had
but
that
I
as
do
well.
not remember. I found it. I have a good remembrance of the video, but I haven't looked it up.
I know I've tried the 18 and the 25. They're definitely beyond that. And I've tried the Select and the 10, and they're definitely one of the harsher types. And sometimes you really do like rough and tough whiskey. So that's the beauty of Laphroaig. You can have lots variation within the ages they do have, and they do have quite a good range at Laphroaig.
In the meantime, yes.
Yeah, they have a.
In former times, they had just one, and an older one, which was quite scarce. And now they have a broad portfolio up to 25 years. Yeah, very good.
Isn't there a 30 as well? Very.
Not. I haven't seen that for long.
Yeah, but 25 is also really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you found this video interesting, then please feel free to share it with your friends, and see you next time.